Mauro, that was absolutely terrific. The main event is on the way. Adrian Broner, you see him right there getting ready for Marcos Maidana. Broner put the boxing gloves on at a very early age, and if you wonder how he seems to do things without even thinking, you need to check out this footage coming up of a tiny Adrian Broner at the very beginning of his training. Let's go back to the makings of a champion.
A lot of people don't even know, man. They look at me now and they're like, oh, they gave it to him, man. Ain't nobody never gave me shit. Ain't nobody never gave me nothing. They don't know what I went through to get to where I am. My family, they've been putting the boxing gloves on me since I was about 4 years old.
Look at Adrian, boy.
I'm like, come on. Ain't gonna be no more of this fighting in the house. So we came up with that fighting in the yard.
I want a clean fight, fellas.
We got 8 brothers, so they had to learn how to fight.
Kids in the neighborhood could beat us. They didn't want to box with us, so we always have to box older and bigger guys.
He was destined to go to the Olympics, but he would start getting older and making the wrong choices. He got in trouble.
Back then, I was out with the wrong crowd. I went to jail for about 10 months to a year facing a case that could have got me years.
Jail, it don't take you but a minute. You either go down or you grow up, and he grew up a lot in there.
I had to see my first son born while I was inside. Sometimes it takes that one thing to happen in your life for you to realize what you need to do and why you need to do it. I am where I am today because of what I went through.
Adrian Broner, 23 years of age, a 3-division champion. Definitely a superstar in the making.
This is just the beginning to my stardom.
Broner habla mucho. Igual me pasó con Víctor Ortiz, que él se creía que era una estrella y yo lo bajé al caballo. Yo vine como para que Ortiz gane. Me trajeron para que pierda.
But here comes the power of Ortiz.
We knew nothing about him until the day that he beat Victor Ortiz. The way he gets up from a knockdown and still come back to win the fight. It was an awesome fight.
Maidana teeing off, and this fight is over.
El boxeo empecé en mi pueblo, donde yo me crié. Estaba entrenando chicos en el pueblo, yo voy pasando, dije, ¿puedo entrenar? Y me dijo, sí. Entrené una semana, peleé y gané por nocaut.
You know, 20 years of his career never taught right. So the 2 years that I've been with him, just the little changes, him using his jab a little more, moving his head a little more.
Y ya llevo 4 peleas con él y vengo ganando.
You can switch trainers all you want, but that shit ain't gonna win you a fight. Skills win you fights.
De Broner no me importa lo que hace. Lo único que me importa es el día de la pelea, qué es lo que va a hacer.
I don't give a fuck what McDonald is. Easy work. If we was to fight tomorrow, I'll fuck him up.
Con este Broner que no me diga nada porque yo tengo una gana.
I know after this fight, I'm going to another level.
Lo que estoy pensando es verlo en el piso, en la lona.
The right hand!
He's never fought Adrian Broner.
Para ser estrella todavía no le ganó a nadie.
He ain't never seen a jab like mine, a right hand like mine, or a hook like mine.
Llevando la vaca se metió con el toro,
If I don't do this in a spectacular way, I probably won't ever get this chance again. So I gotta make it happen.
And Marcos Maidana has spent a good part of his career as the opponent, but he's climbed off the deck to nearly beat Amir Khan and then to beat Victor Ortiz. Routinely been put in with the best, and now he sees Adrian Broner as another fighter about to be in for a surprise. And as we get set for our main event, we are joined right now, as if there aren't enough great welterweights out there. Shawn Porter joins us just a week after he put on a great performance against Devin Alexander. Shawn, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on. It's nice to be in front of a camera, not throwing punches for a change.
That's it. You're smiling. You're in a nice suit, the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
This guy can really box. Let's take a look at some highlights here. And what was the plan initially? You knew Devin was one of the slicker boxers out there.
Yeah, one of the slicker boxers. I didn't want him to be slick that night. I wanted to pressure him, be aggressive, and stay on top of him, not allow him to use his speed and his quickness. And that game plan worked. We were able to initiate that from the very beginning of the fight and carried it through for 12 rounds.
At what point did you think, oh, wait a second, I can break through and get past this guy's jab?
It was never a problem for me. Even from the first round, I was able to jab him from the outside. We knew coming into the fight that being able to outbox him was going to be something we were going to be able to do. And we used a lot of different dimensions in that fight, and we made it happen.
You're a real strong welterweight. Now, you're what, 5'7", 5'8"?
Yeah, 5'7".
So you're small for a welterweight, but you're packed. Now, Keith Thurman is a guy who can really whack, too. You saw him box. You were watching here. You were being honest with me. You said, this guy's impressive. What do you think of Thurman?
I was being very honest with you. I've known Keith since the amateurs, and he impressed everybody throughout his amateur career, and he impressed everybody tonight. He showed that he can box and be smart, but he also showed that he can punch.
Now, we know at the top of your division it's Floyd Mayweather, then there's Manny Pacquiao, who you know quite well.
Yeah.
But you have one of these now. You've got a belt,
yes,
so you
sir.
have a little marketing plan now. It's a little easier when you have a title.
Yep.
Who do you want?
It doesn't matter, but like you said, the division is stacked. The beautiful thing about it is I'm on the top of the division too. So my team is going to call the shots. My manager and father, Kenny Porter, and Al Heyman, my advisor, they're going to put their heads together, they're going to figure it out, and then I'm going to get in the ring and do what I have to do.
Are you thinking Kell Brook? Is that be a mandatory, or what might you want?
I heard mandatory from Kell Brook. I don't know much about him. He said keep the belt warm for him. I am keeping it warm for him. And it's going to be a little bit harder to take than he thinks.
A little scouting for you, too, watching Broner and Maidana, because those guys could be in your future.
I'm here to scout. I'm here to scout everybody. Definitely enjoy the perks of being a champion, but definitely take a close look at everybody fighting tonight.
I asked you, because I hadn't really talked to you before, and I asked you, did you how many rounds did you do with Pacquiao? Like a ton of rounds? And you said, oh, a ton of rounds. Famous for being in the training camps and testing Manny Pacquiao. What was that like? What did you learn?
Unbelievable experience, an experience that you can't buy, and I learned a great deal. Just being firsthand, seeing how a champion prepares for a fight, and we used that. We prepared extremely hard for this fight, working with Freddie Roach, learning the tricks that you can do against the southpaw. I brought him into the fight, was able to land a hard right hand that you saw against Devin Alexander, and almost put him down. I thought we were going home early that night, but he's a great fighter. So we made it through that one, and now we're looking at the next one.
Yeah, well, congratulations to you. Again, Alexander's a guy no one really wants to mess with. You went in there and you took it from him, and you ready for the main event?
Yes, sir. I'm ready for the main event.
Sean, congratulations to you. Again,
thank you very much.
What would give a quick prediction for the main event?
I say Browner. I'm going to go with the Ohio kid. I think he's too quick, too fast, too flashy. That's what we're known for in the Midwest. I think Midwest shows up and wins tonight.
All right. I'm just going to let that go. Sean Porter. Sean, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Great outing last week. Sean Porter, one of the belts now, one of the top welterweights in the world. Ready for the main event. We send it down to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, the time has come to enter the danger zone. It's time for Broner versus Maidana.
Pound for pound, one of the most exciting fighters in boxing today is Marcos Maidana.
Undefeated Adrian Broner, he'll be the first to tell you he's as cool as the other side of the pillow. Maidana, reinvigorated. Broner now getting busier. Firing off the right hand, and he caught him with the left hook. A slugfest, and again he gets hurt with another right hand and another right. Maidana, forget about boxing. He's more interested in brawling.
Still I am who I am, cause I know it's on me.
So Marcos Maidana making the walk to the ring here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas for the biggest fight of what has already been an impressive career. A former champion at 140 pounds and now stepping up in his fourth, make that fifth fight at welterweight, having won 3 in a row. Will he be the first to solve the problem?
Please welcome to the ring the hard-hitting challenger from Argentina, Marcos El Chino Maidana.
So a nice response from the crowd gathered here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. And Al, we talk about his resurgence, moving up to welterweight, looking sluggish in his first fight against former champion Devin Alexander. And by the way, great interview with Sean Porter, the new champ. But since hooking up with Robert Garcia in Oxnard, California, he's won 3 in a row, all inside the distance.
And I think what's important is we've seen that he is an improved fighter. They have added nuance to his performance. He has become a more thinking, controlled fighter, but still with the aggression and the power that he had before. And he thinks he'll put all that together here tonight for what would be his biggest win.
And the Argentine, seemingly adopted by the fans here in San Antonio, Texas. One of 33 champions to hail from Argentina, Marcos Maidana. His boxing talent, the 24-year-old Cincinnati native Adrian Broner has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with his behavior outside of the squared circle, bloviating incessantly, all the while doing his best or worst, depending on how you look at it, Floyd Mayweather impression. Mayweather is someone Broner has looked up to since he first saw Mayweather fight when Broner was just 12. Mayweather has been a mentor to Broner, and even he has taken umbrage with some of Broner's extracurricular activity. Now, despite all of the attention the brash Broner has attracted, questions remain about his potential, and he hopes to answer those questions tonight versus the most dangerous fighter he's faced thus far in his career in his second scrap at 147 pounds.
And now, here is the 3-time world champion, Adrian the Problem Broner.
There are those who feel Adrian Broner's body of work isn't commensurate with the hype he has received. Paulie, you gave him one of the toughest fights of his career thus far, and while the pre-fight promotion got very personal, I know you are a pro in your role as an analyst here on Showtime. Based on what you experienced sharing the ring with him, is he as good as he and his camp think he is?
Well, certainly has the potential to be a great fighter. Whether he is right now remains to be seen. You know, he's a tough fighter in terms of he's hard to hit, a lot of speed, a good thinking fighter. On the other hand, a lot of times when he does do a lot of that thinking, when he has opponents who force him to think, he has tended to go into a lull, not throw punches for big chunks of rounds. And his 2 competitive fights with myself and Ponte de Leon, he showed that. If he does that tonight, he may run into trouble against a guy as vicious as Maidana.
If it's any consolation, Paulie, he said you were more difficult to hit than any opponent he has ever fought. He is Adrian, the Problem Broner, tonight making the first defense of his welterweight championship. So let's go to the tail of the tape for tonight's main event.